night and day. I mean, I've been to other schools and sat in first grade classrooms and saw how they're taught and what they're learning, and it's like it's night and day.
So what do these first graders do after their 20 minutes of instruction? Like after an hour, are they like running up and down the aisles?
No, they go to the other centers and they're supposed to do something, but they're supposed to figure it out by osmosis what they're supposed to do and how to do it.
Yeah, you're right. Then.
Well. Yeah. Amen. That's just what I was hoping you'd bring. Something more to read.
Huh?
I don't know.
Oh, good. Good. Hey, son, do you want these now?
What's that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, we got two of them?
Yep.
November, January?
Do you?
No, November, December, October, November, December.
Oh, I don't see October.
Yeah.
That was in December.
It's down here. October.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, yeah, it's on that one. You gotta read down there.
Oh, okay, all right.
We got two of them here.
Nah, got two of them too. Everything?
That is mine.
This is yours?
That is from a meeting I went to at Arlington.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I made mine. I haven't.
There we go. Yes, October, November,
It's a
December.
keel over. I've been having chest pain. I've been to the hospital and then I was gonna live.
How did I give you one of these?
Ooh.
I just gave you two. No, I didn't do that. Okay.
Oh, yes.
That's on turbine.
Oh,
That's
okay.
on the pile of the turbine.
Oh, okay. I got one, but it's buried in here.
Here's one. Need pen?
now that we've shuffled all our papers. Are we ready?
I'm ready.
Everyone ready? Okay, we'll open the meeting. We're a little bit late, but. Okay. We have the minutes of the last meeting.
Yes, you got it.
I don't see.
You got a roll call first, and then we'll
Okay.
I gave it to you.
Okay.
I'll share.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, everybody here?
Here.
Here. Okay. We will look over the minutes of our last meeting in October.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes from the meeting of October 17th.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We needed a motion on the summarized yearly activity report.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do we need
yes.
approval on that?
We're gonna, yes.
On what now?
On the summarized yearly activity meetings minutes.
Oh,
That has to be okay too.
okay. Yearly activity report, okay, oh, yes, okay. Everybody looked over the yearly activity report?
Nope, we just got it.
Okay, okay. Very succinct. You vote on this?
Make a motion to accept the yearly summary reports as written.
I'll second that.
Okay. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Now, where is my, okay, agenda for tonight. I don't have it in there.
Was there agenda
Here.
passed out?
Pardon?
Was there agenda passed out?
No.
Oh, okay.
Tom didn't hand them out, so you didn't get them.
Next is the report from the zoning administrator for summary.
Ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I've got, 2 pages for you. One's the October, we had 8 permits totaling over 500,000. And in November, we had 4 permits totaling a little over 400,000. And in December, we had 1 permit for about 13,000.
Okay.
May we hear who pulled permits?
Pardon?
May we hear the report as opposed to in summary as to who exactly pulled the zoning compliance report?
You want it listed?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give it to you. There you go.
Thank you, Tom.
You're welcome. Nothing other than numerous magazines and what have you as far as correspondence. Old business wind turbines, Rosemary Broad, and
from a meeting I went to at Arlington where they were discussing the turbine test.
Oh, okay. What does this mean? The sound pressure level exceeded 90% of the time.
That's the definition.
These are
definitions.
This front page is all definitions of off-grid, in-grid tide, small wind energy systems. I don't know if we really have to be worried about this right now,
No.
or we can, go through the material that we
Right.
have and,
Right.
do something later on with it.
Right, consolidate what we already had.
And I believe Patrick has some, I believe you have some too, you have some ordinances on it too.
I've got a couple. I can explain the first one.
Okay.
That ambient sound level, that's the background, what you normally hear on the street, okay? And
It's saying the turbines exceed that 90% of the time?
yeah. So, for example, if you've got a wooded area,
Okay.
and there's the ambient sound level of the deer and the muskrat and
Right.
whatever else making racket. Then you put a road through, so that would then be the normal noise on that road would be your total ambient, sound level. So that's above what's normally excluded. So that then anything above that then would be excessive.
Oh,
You mind me asking, on this, this is basically another windmill type of ordinance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What we wanna do is go back and read this and compare it to the other thing.
yes, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, now, one of the things that I did do, the original one that I gave you last meeting, there was one section in there about painting, about making the color of the tower.
Oh,
I have that, and the more I thought about it, the more I thought that that's probably not appropriate, so I changed my original copy to read something else, and I can make you all copies of that.
Okay.
It's just one section where I took, in fact, I'll give it to you exactly. Hang on a second. But if you're gonna read this, I'd like you to go back and reread the one I submitted.
right.
Under standards, under section 5 of standards of my copy, it says appearance, color, and finish. The wind generator and tower shall remain painted or finished. And I stopped it at that. And the original had a bunch more information behind it. I'm just saying, whatever it looked like, just keep it that way.
Yeah.
So I will give everybody a copy of
Okay,
this,
good.
so that you can compare this to what Rosemary submitted.
Yeah, well, we have 4 now.
Yeah,
Maybe more.
maybe more.
Right.
I don't know, I got a whole pile of them here, I'm looking for. I like that one that you have there pretty much.
It seems to cover, covers an awful lot of the pertinent information here. Okay, are we done with windmills for right now, for what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's put them on.
Can I go back and ask some questions about the request for zoning here? Is that okay? Sure. Is that appropriate, Dan? Hey, Pat, I see in the November, there was a request at 1390-988 County Road 215 for 5,000 square foot farm market at $400,000, and then I see permits issued in October, there's one at 13,988, and permits issued in November, it's at the same address for 6,000 square feet for $400,000.
You know what, yeah, that's,
Is that two different
that's the
permits?
same building.
It's the same building,
Same building.
so was it permitted, was it issued in November, or was it issued
The
in?
building permit wasn't issued till November.
Till November, so this one in October is null and void then?
I may have just simply missed that, and I was using the same format. So there should have been only 3 issued in November, but, yeah. Scratch that top one off.
Scratch the top one off from November?
Yeah, scratch it off in November. It was issued in October.
Okay, but was it a 5,000 square foot thing or a 6,000?
5,280.
280.
Scratch off which one now, for how many
The
square
one,
feet?
it's the first one in the November.
The first one in November one. So that the total value out of November is down to $30,000,
Yeah, it's
right?
30,000. Yeah, it slowed right down.
Slow it down. There are some questions floating around about that one, obviously. And I guess I'd like to know a little bit more about it, if you don't mind.
Was an agricultural building. I spoke with the building inspector about it. No building permit is required under state law.
What is it exactly? When it says 5,000 square foot farm market, are we talking about
It's processing blueberries.
processing blueberries
Selling them.
and selling blueberries? Is it an existing type building, or is it they're
It's
going
an
to build?
existing operation, it's a new building.
It's a new building.
Right.
Okay.
And under the zoning ordinance, it's a principal permitted use.
It's already permitted, so you can sell wherever you're processing, is what we're saying.
No, that type of use is permitted without review by the planning commission.
How is that?
This
The
is
way
not
the
the
ordinance
for
is-
comments, excuse me.
Yeah, that's the way the ordinance was written.
Okay, if you don't mind me asking, where exactly is this? Is this down, where is this on 215? Because I don't know. Without going down there, I don't know.
14th.
Huh?
At 14th.
Yeah, it's
14th?
Yeah, right at 14th, it's right on the corner.
Right, 14th Street.
Okay.
Or I believe what this is. It's Stokes, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, it's just north of 14th, I believe. Yeah, it's Stokes.
Yeah. It's on the north corner, maybe in the southwest corner.
I don't remember.
west side, I can't remember
Yeah, it's on the west side.
Yeah, well, I think you live over there, Larry. You live over there.
Yeah.
It's on the southwest corner, isn't it?
14th you're talking about?
The 14th and 215.
Anybody have a map? I'd like to look at it from a map, on a map. Does anybody have a map?
Do we still have this old map in the other room? We have this old,
Yeah, I got one right here.
okay.
That one?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't bring the map with me, and, I remember looking at it on maps, but now I couldn't tell you which way in 14th it is, so I had to look at the map again.
It's on the north corner.
Well, don't make any
No.
difference, because this is
Northwest.
I'm just curious as to where it is, if you don't mind.
Oh, just a minute, it's right, trying to think
Yeah.
where we're at here.
There's 14th, there's 14th. Right
14
there.
and
And,
215,
It's right on the corner there, I believe.
right on the corner.
I don't know which corner, but it's on the corner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's this here.
But he has that large.
Yeah, he's got everything back
Yeah,
here.
there's a processing plant,
Right.
yeah, right,
Right.
yeah, I remember seeing the
Yeah, there's
processing
big buildings
plant.
across here, where the railroad tracks, I think.
So this guy wants to basically build an open air market for blueberries or
No, he wants to build a processing plant for the blueberries, just to pack them. He's not doing anything other than packing them.
Well, he's not packing.
We went over and over and over, the building inspector and I, because the builder brought in something completely different that the owner didn't want. He was trying to sell him a lot bigger operation than we actually wanted. So when we actually, the building inspector and I finally got to talk to the owner, all he wanted was a place to store his blueberries and pack them.
Okay, going back to the stuff that you gave us in the October one, it says a farm market. and the November one says agricultural building, so it sounds like the agriculture building is really
Right.
what he's,
Yeah, he's gonna be selling the product from a farm market type situation.
You'll be selling blueberries or blueberry plants?
Blueberries.
Okay.
You know, we have Kim Stokes here, and she can answer your
Oh,
question.
hi.
I'm sorry,
That's
far
okay, I
away.
didn't want to interfere because I know it's not open comment. It is actually a farm market,
Okay.
yes. We will be selling blueberries, that's probably how that came about. And I believe the first one that you had, that you crossed off, the 5280 square feet,
We didn't cross that one off.
no, that's the one that should have been crossed off.
Oh.
The first time we submitted it, we were gonna go smaller. And then we changed our mind and made it a little bit bigger and we submitted.
That's why I got it on my,
Yes, yeah, that's why you have it.
yeah.
Yeah, because I worked with you a few days there to get that information to you, and then we ended up, we were gonna put it one direction and ended up turning it another direction where there would be more room and
Yeah,
made it a little bit bigger, but it is a farm market, fruits, vegetables, blueberries.
yeah, they had to turn it sideways on the lot in order to meet the setbacks.
Oh.
So, just because I don't want any stuff happening later on, does the permit say an agricultural building, or does it say a farm market?
It's, the permit says an agricultural building because under the state building code, that's what it is.
Legally, that's what it's.
The
Legally,
zoning
that's what it
approval,
is.
This is farm stuff, and you're not gonna do nothing about it, the state regulates.
All right, I just wanna be
No, I mean-
crystal clear
the
about
zoning
what we're
approval was
permitting.
was for an agricultural farm market.
I mean, the state regulates all this kind of stuff.
And we went over
We're out.
how they keep it to that zoning classification.
We had our stand on the corner of 15th
Yeah.
and 250. 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah, it's down the road.
What I don't want is any ambiguity or confusion at some later point as to what we issued a permit on. You know, I wanna be, if it's an agricultural building, which the definition automatically allows the sale of products in it, then that's okay. If that's what it- Okay, that's okay. As long as
Permitted, principal permitted use under the zoning board.
under the zoning ordinance, okay.
If not, they'd have to get a variance,
Okay.
and then they'd have to apply.
Can I ask him one question? Can I ask one question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Tim, is everything gonna be grown on your farm that's gonna be sold here?
I'm not sure yet. And if that changes, then I can let the board know, but as of now, that's what we're planning, yes.
You say something?
Well, I'm curious, isn't that zone residential there?
A farm can do anything.
No, the parcel of land where the building's going to be located.
No, it's blueberries in there now, I believe, isn't it on that corner? Blueberries?
No, not blueberries.
Oh, it was at one time, wasn't it?
No.
No.
Are we talking about the,
It's the northwest corner.
oh, the northwest corner? Okay, I'm sorry, I was,
Right across from that blueberry
right, okay.
patch right there.
So what is it currently zoned as?
Agricultural.
Agriculture.
But how did it get agriculture when it's in a residential neighborhood with a house right on the corner? With on an acre of land? With houses all around it?
Are you looking at the map? Yeah. Okay.
I sat on agricultural land also, it's just an old orchard.
So Larry's house is on agriculture also?
What's that?
Larry,
Probably.
you're in agriculture also?
Probably.
Are you a farmer, Larry?
It doesn't matter what he's doing.
It don't matter what you're doing.
It's
Right.
only agriculture. That whole,
That whole section.
everything, south of, well, except for the fire lane 33, everything south of 3 and 4 until you get to Leesville is zoned agriculture.
Yeah, that's right.
Can we continue?
Yes.
Okay,
Sorry for bothering.
It's all right. No problem. We set aside the old business. Now we have the, I don't know if they're new or they're just revised or what.
Well, also we have to set the
Yeah,
meeting schedule for
we couldn't,
12.
this, couldn't find the bylaws for the planning commission.
Oh.
So, this is a sample. It's not adopted at this point. If you find things you need to change,
All right.
just let me know.
Yes.
Yeah. Change it before you adopt it.
Can we put this off to till next month
Yeah.
legally then?
Since we haven't read it,
You need to read them.
I make a motion that we table the bylaws till the next time we meet, and that way everybody gets a chance to go through and
Right.
make any additions or corrections on them.
Second?
I will.
You know, and I believe there was a copy of the bylaws.
You think there was?
Yes,
Don't know where they are.
What, an old copy you mean?
yeah.
I have them someplace, and I can't
I
find
know,
them.
I had
but I
a
know I
copy.
got
You
them,
know
because
what?
I seen them last
They're
summer.
probably out of date. And this
Okay.
was designed around the new planning.
Yeah, because I've been cleaning my office, and I thought,
So they should have been updated anyway.
okay, so this is tabled, and you seconded me?
Jack.
Yeah.
Jack seconded.
Okay.
Is there discussion on that right now?
Yeah, we're gonna have to all in favor on that.
Oh,
What's that?
can we have some
Oh, yeah.
discussion?
Well,
The only question I have on that is, this set of minutes, this set of bylaws, first thing it says is, first meeting of the year, we're supposed to elect officers. The question is, can we do this? Do we need to
Yeah.
elect officers
Yes.
So we
and
did it
still
last-
table this?
We did it last year without.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I just want to clarify it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all for tabling this, as long as we can still elect officers without these, yeah.
The only thing is, you got a motion on the floor, let's get rid of the motion,
Okay.
and then we can talk about anything you want.
All in favor?
Motion by Hurley, seconded by Bowen, to table, voting on the bylaws.
All in
Until our
favor?
April meeting.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, now we're to I spoke to Patrick, how long ago, Patrick? A couple, 3 months ago,
Yeah.
on the ordinance in regard to the number of outbuildings. And he said that we could look at that. Now, what do you say, Patrick?
Well, the only thing I have to add on is that when we created, the text was largely left alone on the limit on accessory buildings for the R2 district.
Okay.
When it included all of the lakefront platted lots. When we pulled those out, I don't remember any discussion on that. We left the limit on the number of accessory buildings in the R2 alone.
Yeah, I think we
And then
did.
it's been recently brought up that, what happens if somebody's got 40 acres, why couldn't they have another more accessory
Right.
buildings? And quite frankly, with all of the small lakefront lots gone, that would be a reasonable question.
Who's gonna answer it?
Now, as I was looking at the map, there still are a few R2 lots along the ways. Most of them are quite large, or really narrow and long. So, it's kind of up to you as to whether or not you want to remove that restriction on the number of accessory buildings allowed in the R2.
You mean change the number?
Yeah.
9 out of 10 times, though, property owner is not going to put an accessory building on a lake lot by the woods.
Yeah, the problem was with the smaller lots in the old plats where you had people had a lot, and, they were trying to put too many buildings on a parcel.
Smaller parcel.
Small parcel. And there's,
Why would you want just a portion of what you're talking about, Pat? Why would you want accessory building on a lake lot, on a lakefront lot? I mean, more than what we've already got.
I think it was more the back lots we were worried about. We actually made provisions for that in the RO district. So that people, as long as they had it on the same tax bill, they could have it on the back lot. So, I don't know what the original reasoning was. Okay, about why there was a limit, because it was already in the ordinance when I found it.
Correct. I don't think we've ever changed that as long as I've ever.
When was that passed that way?
Well, it wasn't, you wasn't here.
No, I know it was
It was years ago.
Oh, okay.
My only question is, since we've taken all those lakefront platted lots out of the R2, is it reasonable then to look at the remaining R2 lots and say, well, maybe they could have more than one large accessory building?
Is there a reason why we shouldn't? I mean, I can see the rationale for having more than one building,
Right.
absolutely.
I have more than one building.
I mean,
But you're not on lake property.
No, I'm on a pond property.
is there a rational reason why we couldn't up the number or make it allow something that says, you know what I mean, case by case basis, we allow more plots if they apply, more buildings if they apply for it for a reasonable, I mean.
Yeah, I think so too.
If we're gonna do that, then we gotta say, okay, to get the additional building, we have more than 5 acres or more than 10 acres, or, we gotta set some
Well, right,
limit.
right.
We still don't want
And the size of the
5
building.
buildings on a
1 acre plot.
100-foot lot.
Right, no, that's true. I don't think that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So how do we,
Well, why don't we just kind of go over it and then table it until the next meeting and come back in the next meeting and.
Make some recommendations?
Yeah, we should know what
Right.
we're talking about by then. Hopefully. Everybody can look it up in their ordinances.
Yeah, because we have some of the old ones too, some of the old ordinances, and see how long ago that was taken into effect.
It don't make any difference because it's been in there for
For
years.
a long
Yes.
time.
yes,
Long time.
Yeah,
I can't ever remember changing that or anything like this, so.
Does that need a motion or not? I mean, I'll make a motion that says that we all go back and take a look at it, but
No, this is just a discussion.
it's a discussion, that's what I'm thinking, yeah.
yeah.
So we all go back and take a look at the ordinances and
What
see
you
what,
can
see
do
what we.
is simply put it on your agenda for next time.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
If you'd like, I could work up a sample of what it would look like.
That would be fantastic as far as I'm concerned. At least give us some, is there any chance of you sending that to us before the next meeting?
Yeah.
So that we had a chance to process it a little bit and come up with tweaks as we may see fit?
So I'll make a motion that we table this until the next meeting, provided,
I don't
and
think we need to make a motion.
we don't have to make anything on it?
No, it's just a discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but that was on the agenda.
Just make sure Tom writes it down so it's on the agenda.
Okay,
We'll put it on the next
agenda.
agenda, yes. Okay, public comments?
For your accessory buildings, right now, I do have 40 acres on Saddle Lake. My house is sitting off the lake. I have lake lots in front of my house. I have a cottage in front of my house. But what I can do is I can split my property, take off a piece of land and tie it to my cottage, and then I can have my other accessory building. I can take my other lot, tie off another property, have another accessory building. And it just doesn't make sense doing that. But your ordinance allows that right now, but because I have 40 acres, I can't do anything because it's an R2 and I already have one accessory building. But I can get around it by
Right.
splitting off my property, and I don't think that's really what this board wants anyways. But, I think I sent you at one time a graduation that I got out of another zoning ordinance that said if you had, for less than 1 acre, 1/2 acre, you could have one accessory building that size. Go to 1 acre, you could have 2, and then it jumped up to 5 acres, you could have 3, and it jumped up to, I think it went up to 7 acres, or not 7 acres, up to 7 buildings, but it got almost to 50 acres for that.
Could
And then
you,
you can use that for RO and anything else up the line.
could you resend that
That
again?
could get kind of out of hand too, though, so.
Pardon?
I said that could get kind of out of hand also, though.
Well, you got 50 acres, you can't split it once you get the building there unless you tear the building down. That's the other thing I had on there, is if you put the building on there, it had to stay at so many acres.
Could you resend that, at least to me anyway?
Yeah.
Yeah, send me a copy of it. Okay. Anybody else? Dixie?
Yeah, Ken was saying, he's saying in an R2, he's only allowed 1 accessory building. Whereas you're saying from North Lake and all the way to Breedsville is agriculture, so there they can have however many buildings that they want. So what is the logic between these two thoughts? I mean, they could look just like Ken's house, and they could have 6 buildings because you're saying it's agriculture from North Lake to Breedsville. And just because he's a little bit east of there, he can have 1 building even though he has 40 acres.
That's what
This isn't something we did.
No,
But it's something that you can fit.
Well, I think
that's
they're
what we're
talking
trying to
about-
do. That's what we're talking
We're
about.
looking at it.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I think it's silly too.
Another comment I had is you have meeting minutes that you approved, you didn't read them to us, none of us out here got to know what was in the meeting minutes. And it would be nice if we could get a copy of those out here so that we know what you approved. There might be something in there that we may disagree with, be able to public comment on. And the second item that you approved was invisible to me to what you approved. And maybe if you got stuff that you know that either you read it to us or you provide us a document so we can follow along and understand what's.
Well, one was the last meeting, and one was the summarized yearly activity report.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you got the minutes of last year's meetings, which you have all of them, that's the summary.
I have what?
Last year's minutes of all the meetings.
Is that what the summary is?
Yeah.
The summary doesn't tell you how much money or how many total amount of money that was added to the township, and how many building permits were issued, and how many non-compliances were found, and so all you got was the meeting minutes?
This is for the planning commission,
This is just the activity report.
You didn't
of what
provide me
we
any.
what the planning commission did. It's a summary of what happened in the minutes, anything that we acted upon.
Hey, I guess,
So it's pretty nil.
Well, I'm just, I probably instigated this report, and what I understood the report by law to be is a report that said.
You can ask Pat what the report
Yeah,
is
that's
supposed to
right.
be, but I read it also out of a little red book today.
And here's
so-
our 2010 report too,
Right.
which I have right here.
Yeah, I read that
Same
one, and
thing.
that's pokey, but that's a,
That's all that's necessary. Just a summary of what we did.
And that's basically the
And
first one.
it's turned into the board.
This is basically 4 quarterly meetings were held. One was a hearing on July 18th. Question the posted of this hearing, why surrounding landowners were not sent letters. Meeting was postponed. Postponed time turned out to be correct. Landowners did not need to be notified. Special meeting, one special meeting held September 22nd. July hearing was not needed, as this was a recommendation to the township board for approval of the farmland preservation application. Mix up between attorney and clerk. recommendation to approve the application was sent to the township board. Clarification of ordinance, clarification 4.02, number 3, what's that?
It was some wording where
Oh, wording.
missed out or word was left out or
Oh,
something, I
okay.
don't know.
Amendments recommended, none. Site plan reviews, none. And that's the report.
Nothing about the noise ordinance that, I thought was supposed to be generated and presented to the board. Is planning commission even working on that?
I don't think we even took it up.
Yeah, I thought Dixie and Lee,
Yeah, I don't remember us, the board ever may have presented with anything on the.
no,
on the
you
sound
guys
ordinance.
were working on that, and we never got anything, if I
No, no.
remember correctly.
No, we never gave anything to this board, we gave it to the township.
Right.
Oh.
The township has it, they've had it for a year and a half, 2 years now.
What about the planning commission had to permit that to the board, since, noise ordinance that goes, for zoning?
Ordinance that was going for.
Dixie and I know that we gave that directly to Dale. Dale has it, and I've talked to Larry about it, and I've talked to Dale about it, okay? And, they know about and I can produce it again, I know you can too as well, Dixie. So, but it was never presented to the zoning board, because we were asked by the township board to go see if we could find a better zoning noise ordinance, and we did, and we presented it to them. And we're just waiting for them to approve it, that's it. There's nothing to do with zoning. There's nothing, I never presented it to this board, never had an intention to.
Well, maybe it ought to be presented to this board so they can give it to the township board to act on it.
Township already has
Well,
it.
that's the process.
All we do is give it to them again, and they've already got it, evidently.
They do have it.
Well, we,
Just handing it to us doesn't accomplish anything, to me.
they'll bring it back to us if they want any action on it, correct?
I don't know,
Don't know why they would.
don't know why they would either.
It's not a land use.
Yeah.
No. And the October minutes, Abernathy, Fry, Hurley, Curtis, and Bowman were here. Gilbert was absent. Motion to approve the September 22nd. All yes. Zoning report, none. Correspondence given. Old business, more discussion on wind generators, more material handed out by Abernathy. Public comments, questions on special meetings that was held September 22nd. And we found out, what was it that we didn't really need to have the meeting because of something, I can't remember.
Was that the farmland one?
It was the farmland one.
Yeah.
The one that was, they weren't asking for a variance on the zoning, they were looking for a tax exemption, is what it was.
Well, yes, that was
Yeah.
right, and then they asked for the wrong thing to start with.
Yeah, exactly, that's why it was never a zoning issue.
Yes.
Tom, I have to agree a little bit with Ken, and I think we ought to have the minutes out ahead of time on the table, so if somebody wants to read them. Huh?
No,
I guess what?
you very seldom ever have minutes
Well,
available or the
let's just make sure we do that from now on, make sure we do that,
We don't
okay?
do it. And it takes 2 seconds to run them all.
Okay.
Patrick, the noise, there is a section in our ordinance that says that when you're doing a special use permit, that you have to go and evaluate some criteria. One of the criteria there is the noise that it's gonna create the business in the area, which to me tells me that you need some sort of reference base to be able to enforce the noise if you're looking at it for noise. Just like when you look for light, noise, road traffic, et cetera, when you're approving a special use permit. Right now, you have nothing to do with your noise, where before we used to have, and then they decided that it wasn't enforceable and wanted the new one, yet we now still don't have a new one. Will you agree with that?
The noise ordinance is, the problem with having a noise ordinance within the zoning ordinance is that you can't get rid of anything that somebody's doing now,
Right.
because it's all grandfathered in. So all the attorneys are recommending that you have a standalone noise ordinance so that you can take care of issues that become.
I've heard more comments about,
Yeah.
from different government agencies, they pass them and then they can't enforce them and what have you.
Yeah, the problem, the way you deal with noise in the zoning ordinance is through setbacks. The township couldn't afford the kind of equipment you need.
Right.
And, you know,
Not based on our research.
Not, Not what Dixie and I found was that you could do it with $100 meter.
Yeah.
You could do it with $100
Would
meter.
it stand up in court?
Court, that's the thing.
I
That's
mean, you
where
can
all-
measure it with, you can get a $20 meter with that, it won't stand up in court.
Apparently, the case that we brought before the township is in place in Traverse City. It's been that way for the last 6 to 8 years. And it stood in the city, stood the court cases in Traverse City. So that's why we thought it was a very good noise ordinance. And it was not required to have any $2,000 meters.
Yeah, but that's the standalone ordinance. Yeah. That's not in the zoning ordinance.
You're right, it's a pure noise ordinance, which
Right.
I think needs to be addressed by the township. And Dixie and I have done our due diligence to provide it to the township. Now,
Well, we'll ask them tomorrow night what they're doing, but.
if I can get here, I'll ask them too, okay? Ken, this is kind of an open discussion, and Ken started talking. Can I have a discussion a little bit with Ken? Okay, Ken, one of my goals is to make sure that these meetings are as open as possible, and make sure that all communication is done correctly. What I'm struggling with is I received an email from you in reference to this farm market in there, but it was only addressed to 3 of the board members. And I'll be real honest with you, Ken, I'm not going to respond to anything that's partially delivered to 3 of the board members.
Who was I missing?
You didn't have Rosemary, you didn't have Dick on it.
I don't have Dick's email address.
But to the best of my knowledge, you sent it to 3 of the 5.
Forward on, you forward anything on, Excerpt.
See, I don't have...
You got my permission.
Okay, but you can understand that I'm trying to communicate as much as I can, but I feel compelled to only communicate in this room,
Sure, I don't have a problem.
okay?
Well, you can think about it before you get here, and that's all I ask.
Okay.
There I go.
In the note, if you do that again...
I think I sent it to you 3, I think,
Rosemary...
Who's there that resigned? Seaman?
Bob Seaman.
Seaman's gone, so I didn't send it to him, and I just don't have your email.
I'm trustee. 2 at,
Trustee 1 or trustee 2?
I'm trustee 2.
Okay.
Yours is trustee 1.
No.
And I stayed in that
But
capacity.
I get a return from my team. Well, I was probably sent to trustee 1.
Oh, okay.
In that case, if you don't have it, just please put in a note, please forward to the rest of the board,
Sure.
and we'll take care of it.
I'll do that.
Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you, Ken.
Or you can just leave the stuff down here and it's passed out.
Go ahead, Lynn.
Well, a few things have come up through the meeting that I have questions on. One was the R2 district and the number of buildings, which resembles the question I had sent to Patrick Hudson and someone else. Now, you have ag, you have less than 10 acres and 10 acres or more. Less than 10 acres, you're allowed how many outbuildings?
I don't know, I don't remember what it said.
Thanks, Ed.
2.
Okay, with a limited square footage. Ag, you can build as much as one. Pretty much. 10 acres or more.
Well,
10 acres or less, you have a restriction. Okay, I brought this up to Patrick Hudson, because my neighbor has 2 5-acre parcels. He has more than 3 outbuildings, more than the square footage allowed, on 1 5-acre parcel. Patrick Hudson said, well, he can just combine the parcels, but they're not combined. They're already split into 5-acre parcels, but you are allowing him to violate the zoning ordinance.
Well, getting back into, we're not an enforcement board.
But you're talking about the R2 district, and Ken saying, well, you know, he could split his property and then have, legally have these parcels, where now he's got all one big parcel, but other people in the community are being allowed to violate the ordinance. And you bring it to the attention of the zoning administrator, and nothing's being done. That's one thing I questioned. The other one was back to the farm market, you said first it was 5,000, and then there was a 6,000. Then you were corrected and said, no, it's 5280. Kim Stokes spoke up and said it's larger than 5280, but the correct footage was never given.
It's on there at 6, I believe.
She got it, she said it was 6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think Tim said that too. 6,000 square feet ag building.
100 by 60 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
6,000 square
6,000
feet, that's what
square
it's
feet.
sitting on there.
Then, a few years back, there was a tax abatement allowed for a large building to Stokes. Now, and it says factory entrance on County Road 215, so wasn't that built for processing blueberries?
I don't remember. I remember MBG getting one. They got a big tax abatement. And, I don't remember.
In Stokes.
Okay, but what is the point?
Okay, so
Well,
what is
you're
the
saying
point
the
here?
farm market's being built for processing and selling. If they've already got a large building,
I corrected that, I said it's a farm market.
Right, farm
I
market.
never
for
said it's
processing, Patrick
And I
Hudson said
corrected that.
processing and selling blueberries.
Did you hear Kim? She just
I
said
corrected
that
that.
she corrected it.
And he has the correcting on his paperwork.
Right.
I'm sure it's like a lot of people are, sometimes a few months, unless you have time to review what you're going to be asked about, maybe things get kind of, but he has all the correct information.
Now I'm confused.
Yeah.
What's a farm market?
What's a farm market?
Yeah,
Have you ever been to a farm market?
I don't know, what is one?
It's a building where you sell fruits and vegetables.
You're the chairman of the board.
Okay.
I think we all kind of know what
Do
a
what?
farm market is.
What was that comment?
No, I didn't know if it was a
I
technical
said,
term.
Dixie, you know what, really, we're having a very, very impromptu meeting here, and you know what? He is the chairman here, and I believe that with all due respect, you know, you should, whoever is in the audience, should address their comments to our chairman, and then he will go from there. And
Well-
not just talk between yourselves out there. I don't think that's proper.
You talk about transparency. The zoning administrator reports are not giving all the details, they're not giving the names, the addresses, the dimensions, the price, the taxable value. You're not giving all that information.
Is the zoning administrator report even required at this?
No.
No,
No.
it's not.
There you go, right there.
But they've got the addresses and the square footage and
The
the
names,
approximate value.
not giving the names, the addresses.
It's not even required that the one be submitted to us every month.
That's how it's always been, since I've been here.
That was just continuing what Mary had done.
Right, that's,
But there's nothing in the law that requires it.
no. But I'd say the address is there, the square footage and the approximate value. And that's how it's always been, that's what it always
Well, we
been.
used to get names and addresses.
It's not addresses.
The address is there.
No names.
Well, the only thing I could tell you to do is submit a FOIA request.
Well, exactly, and then you
Then you can
can
find out
write
exactly
about
who it
the
is.
FOIA.
What is the, can I ask Linda, what would be the point of that? I mean, it seems like
What is
there's.
the point of not having it? What is the point of,
Well, we don't need it.
What do we need it for?
We don't even need the report.
that you don't wanna, allow everybody to know what everything's going on within
We
the
don't even need the
township?
report.
Don't they, Mary used to read the report at the board meeting.
Right,
Yeah.
but that's not being done anymore.
But that
Patrick,
was
this
just
is the
because
first
she
meeting
started doing
Patrick's
it.
Oh,
There wasn't-
You know, I just thought it was, we always did it. But if we don't need it,
No. It's senseless in a way to have it, because it really don't concern us that much, so.
Linda, in an effort to be as open as we can, and what does that accomplish? So maybe we can figure out what the answer, the real answer for you is. And what does it accomplish by having the names?
it's,
Okay, well, if they said there was, what's the street down here that you live on?
53rd.
53rd. Okay, there's, a large pole building and a house on 53rd. Going to be a farm market. You wouldn't wanna know the address, you wouldn't wanna know the name?
But we know the address.
The address is on the report.
If I wanted to find out more about it, I mean, I can't imagine I can't walk in here and find out anything I wanted to find out about it.
And the same holds true for you. If you wanna find out anything, you go into that office or you submit a FOIA and you get the
Yeah, and
answers.
then you gripe about all the FOIAs.
I have a,
That's
sorry,
it.
Tom. I noticed that the office hours have changed between 9 and noon on Tuesday through Friday. So there is no way that Linda could ever come here during business hours.
Saturday,
It's a assessor only, I thought.
beg your
Yep.
pardon?
I think it's a
Assessors
assessor.
are on Saturday, and
But-
so is Larry every Saturday. So
Yeah.
you have a board member and you have our assessor here on Saturday. And any other time, you know what? Everybody is as near as a phone or as near as a computer if she has any other questions. That's how Ken gets all his messages out. Don't do by computer.
What would you have us do, keep the office open 40 hours a week?
No, I'm just saying that when Rosemary's saying for Linda to come down to the office,
Well,
it's not up.
that's
Yeah,
Linda's
no
problem.
no evening hours, no weekend hours.
You know what?
For most
Wait a
residents.
minute, wait a minute. First of all, when we started opening from Tuesday through Saturday, we got complaints because we're using electricity, we're using heat. Now we are open from Tuesday through Saturday, and now we're getting complaints that we aren't open evenings. We figured Saturday would be adequate for people to come. And if you need to meet someone here, all you have to do is call them on the phone and say, I need to talk to you. Can you please meet me at the township hall? Or if not, go to their house.
Oh, I requested something from the township hall, and it was told I had to be here either, well, now it's Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, 9 to 12, which I cannot do.
can you come Saturday?
I can come Saturday, I can come evenings, but this isn't available to me.
Come Saturday. It'll be
If
here.
you lived in Geneva Township, the office is never open.
I don't live in Geneva Township.
If you did.
I don't live in Geneva Township, I don't care about
So your
problems in
your
Geneva
opportunities
Township.
are
I'm
much better here than they are there.
concerned about the issues here. in
And you know,
Columbia
you're
Township.
discussing something that we have no control over on this board
Well,
whatsoever.
Rosemary's bringing it up.
I don't even know why we're discussing this, Thomas.
Well,
So,
it's moot.
It was about transparency,
I make a motion, get this meeting be adjourned.
No, we have to
No, we
set
don't.
meetings.
Right.
We have to set meeting
I was
dates.
gonna second that.
Right. I'll make a motion to set 2012 meeting as of this year of January, April, July, and October. 16th, and the 15th, I believe.
Yep.
Yes,
Don't hold
that
me
is
to it.
right. I took it off the calendar.
Motion?
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. What was the other thing we have to,
We've got officers, we have to elect.
Right,
elect
right.
officers for this upcoming
Hey,
year.
Tom, I don't wanna I really don't wanna interrupt you, I just
Go
have a
ahead.
question, why is your fiscal year not starting at the 1st of April like the township?
I don't have a damn clue.
What do you mean why it doesn't, because April, our fiscal year ends March 31st, and normally our planning commission is the day before our township board meeting.
Well, what I'm trying to say is, I don't think you need to elect people now, I think your fiscal year is
You're
tied to
talking
the
about in
township
April?
board in April. So, you know, if you can, I mean, I'm not telling you, you can't do it early, but I think your fiscal year should be the same as the township board.
Well, but that's just it, it's a fiscal year for the township board.
Well, your fiscal year's tied to theirs because your budget comes from them.
Correct.
But,
Go
you
for
know,
it.
don't, I mean,
We elected in January last year, but that's wait till the next meeting. That's simple.
I'm okay with that.
There's nothing set in stone that anything has to be done at this meeting, is that correct?
What's that now?
There's nothing set in stone anywhere.
It would be in your bylaws.
Yeah, that's why we need to read those bylaws, because this set of bylaws says first meeting January of the year,
And
Right.
you
which
can
is
change that.
today. And that's what was the confusion factor for me, so
well,
if
that's
we
not
want,
approved bylaws.
huh?
That's not your approved bylaws.
It's not,
No,
you're
we
right.
haven't approved it.
No,
So,
because we have not till next month.
yeah,
Right, for next.
Well, in the
April.
I
past,
mean, April.
in the past, we've always,
Done.
because you had meetings we had one meeting every year, every month.
We went, up until last year, we
Up
never
every-
elected officers.
Well, at one time,
Couple
Columbia
years
Township
back,
Board's
that's right.
fiscal year was January 1st to December 31st, and then they got changed to April, and
But I mean, John, when I came on, John was the chairman, and he was the chairman until he resigned.
John was
well,
appointed.
we did have,
Yeah, he was
Yeah, John was
appointed,
elected.
right.
Oh, if the
Appointed.
board changed its fiscal year, your, terms of appointment would have been based on when the planning commission was created.
Oh, okay.
So if the board had a January fiscal year, then your terms of appointment would have been in January, and you would have had your officers' elections in January after the reappointment.
When we had them.
Yeah. So that's probably why you were doing it in January.
Oh,
now everybody did vote yes on setting these and it all passed, correct?
Yes.
right.
Double check.
So we need to check over the,
Bylaws.
bylaws, and we'll bring them up at the next meeting.
I don't
We
see
can elect officers
anything
now,
in
we
here.
elect officers now, I don't
About
really care.
officers,
No,
elections,
well, nothing with dates.
no.
What would be your idea on that?
If it makes it simpler for people, you know, it would depend on when your appointments are up. And you're on staggered appointments, that's probably something you should look
Right,
into.
Okay.
But we appoint officers. is what
Yeah,
I'm getting
you appoint your own officers each year.
at. What's that got to do with when we're appointed from?
It doesn't have to have anything to do with it. It's just that, you know, if the board had been originally created in January.
That's why we're doing it in January.
Yeah, that would be why it would continue then, but with the new bylaws, you can change that. So whatever makes sense.
So whatever is our pleasure, you're saying.
Right.
Okay, well, we can just wait till next month, or the next meeting to
Yeah,
elect
you should have more
officers if we
chance to
want.
look through the text I gave you, and
Do the bylaws first and then,
Yeah.
elect officers?
right. If you have some questions about that text, and you wanna make some changes, get in touch with me. There are some things you can't change. They've been tailored, these bylaws were tailored to fit the new planning here. There's a lot of things you can just drop out. It was kind of overkill.
Anything else? Anybody else?
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Okay, motion to adjourn?
Hello? Move we adjourn?
We need a
I'll second
second.
it.
I think the chairman can just declare the meeting adjourned.
Oh,
Depends how you want.
It sounds so much nicer when we all agree, though.
okay, we're adjourned. Thank you for coming, ladies.
And gentlemen.
No, you're referring to two people.
Well, I was including everybody. I don't have, no, he
What's
has
that?
The zoning map, do you have a map?
I don't, all I have is a future map here.
I do, but God knows, there's a in here. Wait,
Used to be right there on the clipboard.
Yeah, what,
This is future map two.
Rosemary,
Wait a minute. what's
Rosemary.
Wait a minute.
Can I make
I have to
another
remember,
suggestion of transparency?
farms
You
are
should
regulated
not
by
be all
the state
meeting
and not
in
us
that back
on most
room before you're
areas
meeting
of it.
here.
Yeah,
I
we
know
have a
it's
whole lot of,
Yeah.
So, you
That
don't
is-
control
that is
farms
a
like you do
holding of,
people.
Meeting behind closed doors.
What are you talking about?
And that goes for the board also. I go to other,
This is actual farming.
actually, you can
See,
watch
right here,
city
that-
meetings
that
on
place,
television. They
County
will
Road
walk in
215,
individually,
yellow
when
dot
they
right
arrive,
there, that is
sit down.
residential.
They'll have paperwork sitting there for them to read.
Yeah, right here's 14.
No one's doing this
here's 15.
discussing or
And see
meeting
that
behind
little
closed
yellow
doors.
dot right
It's
there?
all-
Right there.
That's what it's used as now.
That's the zoning.
No, I bet you didn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
So therefore, they're putting an agriculture building on a residential.
And for
That's not
Rosemary,
How's that not true?
Let's see what the future's saying.
Now, you gotta
I
remember,
know.
most of
Patrick
these are
knows
future
exactly
maps
what
you
he's
got here, so.
Rosemary
one
claims she
is
doesn't
a
remember
federal
that
thing, but-
abatement
2001, that's not
for
the current.
Stokes.
No, I mean,
She's on the
they're,
board.
they're future
When they-
land use maps that we have on
Yeah.
most of them.
Pardon me?
Because that's about the only
Think of
thing
it
we have to
like
do
a
with is
10,
future
12
land
year
use.
tax abatement.
In other words,
Huge
what you'd
tax
like to
that-
see in the
that
future.
benefit the residents here.
And
I'm
this
pretty
could
sure
be
that
how
was
it's
one of the
used as
criteria where you had to
residential,
employ so many people.
or even how it's taxed, but it still can,
Each says the
mine's
reason
taxed
they had
as
went
residential,
larger
but
was
it's still
because
sitting on ag land.
And packing and selling fruit, blueberries there.
400,000.
They already have the tax abatement for a processing plant. Why do they have to have this other board issue?
Processing and packing.
But
Be a
it
lot
is
of money.
the zoning board,
You'd have to make a hell of a lot of money.
the zoning
Ridgeway
administrator
just closed.
gives the report for a processing
Well,
farm market.
if they're getting the grant,
Why are they
That's probably the better way of doing it.
this when they already have?
You never know what kind of.
that's future land use. You need,
Yeah.
you need the,
Not right.
you need the zoning map. Used to be right there in the bulletin board. I don't know what's back here.
I think there's something,
I think it's in the office, is it on the wall in the west?
what, I don't know.
I don't either, I gotta assume that people are honest, assume that people are honest, so that.
Oh.
That's not, well,
Not
no,
anymore.
you can't start out thinking everybody's dishonest, you gotta start out
I'm
thinking
fighting
everybody's
to
honest.
keep
And if
what
they
we
prove
do
themselves
the
wrong,
way we've
then
been
fine,
doing.
go
Well-
prosecute.
Yeah, well,
We
no,
wanna
you
get to the
want to
consensus of the board.
I,
that
that's why I started
you can only
taking
say
these,
something,
because
you
I
never
started
can
coming to
answer
meetings when
questions
I
and
saw
what have you,
saw
and I don't
things
believe it.
going on in this town.
Well, I don't either.
And I questioned
I
it.
try to keep
And
quiet.
then I was
Well,
being lied
I,
to.
Still public
And so I
comment,
started
right?
taping meetings.
Sometimes I have to, see, the critical thing about Kim's, thing is she has to grow what she sells from that
Well,
building.
he's called me names and.
Farmer's
I
market
can show you.
is your
Oh,
own,
you want it
for
on
your own
YouTube?
on
I can put it on
ag.
YouTube.
You have to sell your own
I've been called a liar, I've
produce
been
that
called
you
a
raise.
preacher, a pisser.
From what
I did when I was a kid, we did, but I
And I can
don't
put
know.
it on YouTube for everybody to see.
Somebody's hearing aid, battery to it.
Maybe they took the battery out.
You don't believe me? Maybe you believe it on
I do
YouTube.
believe you.
They have income tax for 2005.
Oh. You wanna catch up on it?
Put up with, all these meetings.
I'm going to.
Well, you know what, I still don't know about that farm market. We didn't really learn too much today about it.
No, we're hearing conflicting stories.
Yeah,
Conflicting
yeah,
stories.
I didn't hear.
There must be a little interest, why was she here?
well,
Why wouldn't she be here?
She's only here when she's in, self-interest.
Well, isn't everybody in this room for self-interest?
right.
Come on, no.
No.
Oh, come on, Linda. Everybody in this
Well,
room is in for self-interest.
you do have to wonder, you really have to wonder what
No.
they're actually gonna sell. If they, I mean, they should have some sort of business plan. This is what they're gonna be doing with the farmer
I don't know
market.
whether they do or they don't. They would be stupid if they didn't have a business plan, but, I mean, but that's their business. I mean, what they're asking for is I wanna build a building to sell stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
No,
but
processing,
it's your, it's someone's responsibility of, okay, if it's a commercial establishment, it needs to be in commercial zoning. If it's industrial, it has to be in industrial. If it's,
Farmers they can sell anything on their property.
But they grow.
They grow.
That they grow.
That they grow.
Right, right.
And
That's what
I
they grow,
know what
and that's what I was focusing
Well, I
on.
know what you were focusing on.
yeah,
I just asked her if she was gonna sell any meat in there, and she says, no comment, I'm not talking to
yeah,
you.
so you
Well,
guys might
Ridgeway
be
sold,
able to.
now they're down in another township.
Right, so actually, I'd like to see her put it in the Ridgeway, but I don't think that she can do
But, you know,
that. Well, you can change the zoning for it, I mean,
if people are all trying to say whatever they
No, I don't
want to
either.
do, it's not, there's nothing issue with that.
Now, see, they're having another meeting back there again. There's no transparency.
I understand.
It's behind closed doors,
But
not
at the
open
same
to the
time, I'm
public.
all for commerce. I'm all for it. If they provide 10 more jobs around here,
Oh, yeah, but you know what, if they, even if they were to provide 10 jobs, if it was not conceivable, if it was not a good business for their neighbors, I would say no.
Don't go out there, they're smoking, I'm not walking through their stink. They shouldn't even have it by the door, they should have it out by the corner like every other county and state building.
Okay.
Larry and his wife.
But, what I'm saying is that, let's say, for example, over in Scott Lake, my neighbor.
I think I should put this on the front door. Of course, then they'll yell at me for removing a sign and.
Yeah. You know, let's say, for example, my neighbor on, Scott Lake wanted to, put in a business, a gas station, let's say he wants to put in a gas station. I would not want that next to my house, but right there, we just produced, 4 jobs? You know what I'm trying to say?
within the law of, if it's an agricultural, if it's already zoned agriculture, and they already have the exceptions that they can go sell. We're going home, okay, let's
Yeah,
put that.
yeah, you tell the smokers to move. Make gas smoke. Yeah, look at it, all in here, you can smell it.
Smoke is good for my business.
Down to 50.
I charge, huh? 24/7 on the garden.